What's up, everybody? I'm Heidi Gadd.
And I'm Mace. Beyers.
Thanks for joining us for another mission of Aliens and
Beyond.
Today we're talking about Bigfoot.
Your favorite.
My favorite. One of my favorites. Bigfoot has big feet.
The opposite of what I look for in a woman. Yeah. I like a chick with small hands, small feet. I'm not going to tell you why. I guess it makes me feel bigger. We might edit that out.
We've got Bigfoot sightings all over the U.S. We've got them in other countries. Bigfoot is an enigma to humans. Some humans believe Bigfoot cannot possibly exist.
Blows my mind.
Right, this makes no sense.
Well, what's interesting to me is people will believe in grays, little gray aliens,
Right.
and different things. As far as the Sasquatch goes and Bigfoot, tons of evidence.
Tons.
You got the footprints, you have the hair, you got the footage, you got the first-hand accounts.
Yes.
As well as, documented older cultures, millenniums.
Yes.
How do you say millennia plural? Millennia.
Millennia. Yes.
Yeah. It's documented.
Right.
Cave drawings and Cherokee Indians and
Yeah.
just humans around the world.
Yeah, and even in China, they have a sanctuary for the Bigfoot, which they call the Yeren.
Translation, I believe, there is the wild man.
Yes. Yes, and for 2,000 years, they've had recorded history of the wild man.
Now, just that alone, that they're saying wild man, means
Right.
it's not a bear walking upright because it hurt its paws.
Right.
People.
Because, every
Joe
time...
Rogan. I like Joe Rogan, but he does not believe in Bigfoot. And Joe, it's not a bear walking on its hind legs. I think most humans can tell the difference. But I do like you. You're awesome. You're funny. But when it comes to Bigfoot, I'm done with you. He can kick the living crap out of me, that man. I like you, Joe.
But yes, to go on with your point, Mace, I don't know how many times anyone has really seen a bear walk on its hind legs. It can stand up, it can pounce trees and whatnot.
You see it in the circus and stuff, but it's not
Right.
a normal.
No,
It's not normal for the bear to walk like that.
no, come on. People have seen it, they've smelled it. The Bigfoot has a stinky odor.
Shall we discuss the odor?
Sure.
So, the reports are, at times, when the Sasquatch feels like it possibly is in danger or threatened, it will throw out a funk, kind of like a skunk would.
Right.
In fact,
Took the words right out of my mouth.
So, in Florida, for instance, they call it.
The skunk ate.
Why is that? Because it stinks like a skunk, but it'll direct it on you and really, it'll do a number on you.
And if you think about the ocean, you've got octopus that eject ink. So is it out of the realm of possibility for a species?
It's a defense mechanism.
Right.
The other thing is it's so strong. I mean, there's reports of alpha males being well over 10 feet,
Yeah.
1,000 pounds. So if you think about it, it's kind of nice of them just to throw a little funk at you rather than just lay you out.
Well, and they throw rocks at people. That whole thing with how they break the tree branches is really interesting to me because there have been researchers that have gone out and they notice these trees are all broken in the same manner. Now, obviously, yes, trees will naturally break, but they'll look around at a group of trees and they're all fine. However, there's all of these snaps pointing in the same direction that
I'm sorry, I think I just burped into the microphone. I did. It
You
was
did.
like a silent one, like just kind of tried to go silent.
In the last show, Mace's stomach made a loud noise. So maybe that's going to be our thing.
I don't think I want it to be my thing, to be the one that belches on the air. But yeah, these trees that are broken and things, you know, very strong. And I guess some of the researchers claim, you think it's a warning? Maybe they're saying it's a warning, or it's just how they mark where they're going or certain things.
Yeah, it could be a directional thing. Like, hey, I went this way. Is that really unheard of if they are a primate? Maybe they were part of the first genome of humans. Who knows?
Wow.
Could go either way.
Well, it's been around a long time, and I've never seen a Bigfoot, but I did see that movie when I was a kid, the Patterson event.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the first real footage that started the whole Bigfoot phenomenon.
It made Bigfoot very popular.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater as a kid.
Well, because in 1951 is when the first Bigfoot print was discovered and talked about. Now, who's to say there weren't other Bigfoot prints discovered? But this is also America, so things tend to go under the rug.
So that's the first one to kick it in gear. Now there's so much. There's so many prints. There's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of footage. Of course, you take it with a grain of salt, like I always say. But there's some serious footage. Now, from what the researchers talk about, so let's say the alpha male can be anywhere from 8 to 12 feet tall, 1,000 pounds. The females are smaller.
Right.
Some of the males have been known to be reddish brown, but the majority of the alpha males are black.
Right.
And the females and the younger Sasquatches tend to be more reddish brown.
And that
Red
happens
eyes,
a
too.
lot.
They say red eyes as well.
That's creepy. But that happens with other species of animals. Like, there's all kinds of different antelope and deer type.
Yeah, you
animals.
know the species. The females are a lighter color.
Right.
Vice versa, peacocks. With the whole.
Right.
Yeah, just throw it up there. She'll throw it up there later. The peacock. Good luck with that.
But in every country, in every continent, there are reports of Bigfoot sightings, except for Hawaii.
They're afraid of the volcano.
Right.
Plural.
I'm afraid of the volcano.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It is a thing.
What I'm fascinated by is the Yeti the one that's all white in the snow, the abominable snowman?
Yes.
Now, as kids, we all know about the abominable, say it for me, please.
The abominable.
Thank you. And that's been around, as a little folklore.
Right.
That word drives me crazy too. Folklore. Is it, thank you, growing up in Jersey, I try and, enunciate, and this is what happens. I've recently seen some very interesting footage. And
There's a lot out there.
I
There's
really
so
like
much
them.
evidence.
They're big and white, fluffy, and almost like they don't even seem intimidating. Like a big white cat or something. You want a cat.
No thanks. I still want to see one.
When we get to the level we start going out in the field, when we get the equipment and all that, have fun. Because I'm not going. You know what? I will go if I could bring my weapon.
Here it comes.
Man, I'll be like,
You guys see how unstable this thing looks?
I'll make a sound. and I'd just give it, I'd be like, walk into this. I'm not afraid. If I have my mace with me, I'm good.
People are always wondering, does the U.S. government know about the Bigfoot, the Yeti, the Sasquatch, the Ogo, if you're in Africa,
The skunk ape.
the Yeren, if you're in China, the Almas, Mongolia, the Yowie, Australia, skunk ape, we already talked about from Florida,
Skunk ape.
and in Ohio, they call it the Grassman.
I want to talk about Ohio for a little while, but I'm going to refrain. Ohio is a large state.
It's grassy there, apparently.
Yeah, and on the surface it seems very conservative, but I've toured through there. No. Ohio's kind of wild.
It's a little weird there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the terminology for people that study and do research on these species and these animals and things that people don't believe in?
Cryptozoology.
Whoa! I'm just going to say this, people. I dare you. I double dare you to watch our definition mission. On this one. It's interesting.
You're going to like it. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, all those things are part of cryptozoology because it's considered a hidden animal. How hidden is it really when there is so much evidence? People have photographs. Why is it that when someone has a photograph that immediately it's deemed, no, that's not real?
People want the hard evidence. What's strange to me is why the government wouldn't tell us about Yetis and these type of primates. And that's probably because there's a whole nother level involved. I mean, we can get into the kind of the crazier stuff. So yes, it's a primate. It's big, it's scary, it's stinky. But then you have people that have encountered the Sasquatch. Many of them, for some reason, forget where they were. They have missing time, just like people had the experiences with UFOs and things like that. So now, once you get away from just the primate, then you get on this different level. They also are seen when there's a sighting. UFOs and different things occur. Many times, Sasquatches are in the area as well. So there's some kind of connection.
Yeah, everything is connected. It has to be. During my research, I often go to theblackvault.com. John Greenwald, he does all these FOIA searches, and he did one on the Bigfoot.
Freedom of information. I'm learning.
Good job.
Yeah.
And you can be learning too.
That's why you're here. But sometimes what we say might not be good to learn. But
Well, it turns out the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers back in 1974, they put out the Washington Environmental Atlas. And in this atlas, and it is from 1974, on page 73, they list the Sasquatch as a species.
Bingo! Bingo, bongo, bingo, in the bingo, bongo, bingo.
Why is it that they only did it for 1 year? Did they take heat? Why? We want to know why you think. In the comments below, tell us what you think.
Yeah,
We'd love to hear.
This is a great subject to give us some feedback on. Have you had a Bigfoot sighting? If you did you smell it? Did you remember?
Yeah.
And then...
Did it throw a rock at you? Or thrust a tree branch?
Thrusting.
Adjectives.
I lost my... Oh. So here's another thing that's reported.
What's that?
And there's lots of military... there's some really good interviews with ex-military vets
Yeah.
that have been involved with the seek and destroy type thing for the Sasquatches, but just because they happen to be in an area where they're doing what the military is doing. They're not actually going out to hunt them, but once an incident has happened. So I've heard a couple really great interviews regarding that. And another self-defense mechanism is, they believe, like an ultrasound. It's like, you know how a dog can hear things we can't hear. Well, they're kicking out some kind of sound that is actually hurtful to humans. It'll actually mess you up for a day or so.
You know, just throwing this out there, perhaps that's how the government got the idea to use sonic warfare.
Ah, see?
They probably caught a Sasquatch. I hope I don't get in trouble for figuring out something. Just by guessing. I'm just guessing. I'm speculating.
You know how I feel about the government. That's now dropping in a box. Yeah. I threw it in the ocean.
The ocean is very deep.
That's a whole nother episode.
Seriously, though, the fact that China has a sanctuary for the wild man, Bigfoot. Now, what does that tell you? 2,000 years of reports.
Look, China's been...
We never hear about this either.
I think another prevalent point as far as the states here, as far as cultures go, we're young compared to the East.
We are. We're babies.
Very young. So, for instance, a little bit off the subject, I talked to a lot of people from around all over the place, blah, 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 musician. But there was a girl I was talking in Chile, and in Chile, it's not even a thing. Aliens, extraterrestrials, it's just part of the culture. They don't even frown, they have not a big deal. We're babies here. We make a big deal out of everything.
It's true. And for some reason, we don't, as a society, we don't want to accept that there are things bigger than us. And
our egos are huge in the States. In fact, I'm surprised I could even get into the studio. Hey, how do you pronounce the name of the Bigfoot in China? I just want to see her try. But we're going to put it up here for you.
I believe it is...
Drum roll.
Shen Ongjia.
Oh, that's probably a very good attempt. It's probably a very good attempt. What about the Gigantopithecus? What is that?
Gigantopithecus? Oh man, I think I just ruined it. Gigantopithecus. Yeah.
No, I think I blew it because you nailed it the first time.
I did.
We're not going to edit that either. We're going to make her realize that she said it correctly and said it again. I just deja vu.
Whoa.
We talked about that on our interview.
Yeah.
We did on the level with JLouis.
Yeah, you guys can check that out. We'll put the link in the description. So, Gigantopithecus. Is it from Ithaca? Is an extinct genus of ape.
A humanoid gorilla.
Yeah.
They were larger.
Yes. They're pretty much what sounds like the size of the Sasquatch we get reports of today.
It's just like they find in the deep ocean.
Right.
And when there's the big wave, what's it called?
A tsunami.
When tsunamis or certain things like that kick in, there's very interesting large creatures that are washed upon shore that are, a lot of them seem to be, they thought they were extinct.
Right.
So the ocean is large, our woods are large.
It could be evolved from that. They were on Earth 9 million years ago up to as early as 100,000 years ago. is what the science says about the...
Say it. Gigantopithecus. Akapakalakapalakapanow.
Gigantopithecus.
My old friend Dino Papalukanow. Papa Nicolau. It's a primate, and it's smart. It wouldn't want to be around us.
Right.
Because obviously, and there's a lot of great shots. There's a lot of great shots of them just sitting, like, semi-camouflaged, and you can see their eye and facial features, and you're just like...
I'm going to freeze frame that.
I already freezed it. You don't have to freeze frame it.
They can,
My eyes sting from holding them open.
There's reports of them climbing trees, sitting in trees, standing like a football player, like crouched down, only to like run, and just the way that they can like go up hills that when a witness will see, like from a road or something, they'll see the Sasquatch, and then they say, oh, it went up this hill right here. And then a person will try to go up it, and they're all heavy breathing and can hardly do it. And the Sasquatch is doing it in like 2 steps.
It's like those crazy goats, man. Have you seen those goats on the side of mountains and tree limbs? It blows my mind. Well, in the so there's reports that the stride of an alpha male be like 6-foot stride. So you picture
amazing.
10, 12 feet tall, 1,000 pounds, 6-foot stride. Of course they're gonna get up that hill quick.
Right. Yeah. Who knows?
Let me ask you this.
What's that?
Do you think I could train a Sasquatch to dance?
I think you may already have, Mace.
Like, oh look, he's dancing.
He's got some moves.
It's funny how he has tattoos like me. It's interesting. I don't know where he got those moves. I taught him, trained him. It's like this freak dancer inside of me.
It's a genetic experiment
Is
done by us in our laboratory.
now Jersey had some.
Yeah, in May of this year, there was a report in Jersey in the Pine Barrens.
You know what exit? Pine Barrens are about in the 80s. The exit. Yeah, seriously.
Those of you who live over there probably understand this, but I don't.
If you're from the armpit, like myself, you'll understand exits. You're from Jersey. Where are you from? Exit 91. I grew up at exit 105. I like to hang out at exit 0, which is the beginning of the parkway. It's awesome.
I just know there's a lot of trees there. That's
Right.
me.
Where I grew up in Lakewood, there was a lake, and there was woods.
I bet there's Sasquatch there too.
There wasn't, not in that area, but very close to the Pine Barrens. I'm just not a woodsy kind of guy.
Well, the New York Post reported this sighting of this Sasquatch from this woman named Trisha, who saw the Sasquatch.
Trisha.
That's a Jersey thing.
That's a Brady Bunch thing.
It's Marsha. Marsha.
Trisha.
Either way, she saw this Sasquatch in her rearview mirror. And of course, she was ridiculed about it a little bit. The police ridiculed her, which happens so often when people come forward and report something, which is probably why a lot of people are not coming forward and reporting it, because they're going to get ridiculed. So that's pretty lame, and that's not cool, police officers. When you guys see a Sasquatch jump on your car one day, we'll see how you feel when we say you're full of it.
I've been pulled over by a Sasquatch in New Jersey. He's wearing a state police uniform, but I swear he's definitely part Sasquatch. Yeah.
The long and short of it is, Bigfoot is more than likely real, but really good at hiding. There's been reports since the 50s in America.
Now, why are we not finding the remains of
This is a good point.
Yeti past.
Could it be that they bury?
Bingo, bongo, bingo.
I mean, look at elephants. They go to a specific place to die when they're old. Then when they walk past the remains of their family member on their passage, they pay respects.
Look, elephants are smarter than us.
They are. A lot of things are smarter than us.
That's the thing with humans, man. Who do you think you are? Who do you think we are? Just because we can drive a car and ride a Harley, play a bass. Oh, I'm talking about myself. It doesn't mean you're better than a dolphin. To me, dolphins are cooler than us.
Right. They're probably going to take over the world one day if they already haven't.
I've had dreams of dolphins like hanging out with me. I'd say it's like a good omen.
Have you heard about how dolphins can like go up to somebody and like if they're really sick, they spend more time with that person?
Or they can sense it.
Yeah, like they can sense if the person has like a tumor or something.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure dolphins use sound waves or sonar too.
They do.
In defense or something. I think they can throw them out.
Communication and defense.
So there you have it.
Yep.
Now, what do? We grab maces, we have guns, we punch people, but we don't actually have like a physical.
Nope.
We're not superhumans like that.
Or maybe we
need
do,
tools.
but it's just being suppressed.
Well, I guess that's definitely another mission.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about.
Don't get me going on the chemtrails.
Superpowers and humans with mind. You can throw a whammy on you.
Yeah. Telekinesis.
I think all my ex-girlfriends had superpowers.
I don't know. I met a few of your ex-girlfriends, and I don't think any of those ones I met had superpowers. They're giving us a thumbs down right now.
Oh my goodness.
No offense, ladies.
People, as you know, I'm rarely speechless when you put a mic in front of me. But that shut me down.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Now these male Sasquatches, they've been described as like 4 feet wide.
Yeah.
Like almost twice as wide as like 2 linebackers, and
Right.
built like an Arnold.
Right. Think
Schwarzenegger.
about how wide 4 feet is.
And very muscular.
Right.
Like bodybuilders.
And if somebody is describing this, especially if the Sasquatch is near a tree, the tree, unless you're in the redwood forest, is probably not 4 foot wide. Trees generally are not 4 foot wide.
So you're going to see them hiding behind there.
Right.
And they also climb. But now I've heard of them being up in trees.
Right.
That'd be a strong tree. But that's probably more the females with the young. So the
Hiding
females, I think a lot of people tend to spot the females more because they're out doing their thing.
Right.
And from what I've read and what I've seen, the alpha males are back at where the pods are. Here's a quick story. So this vet is talking about this. He was
Like a military vet or an animal vet?
He's a military vet, and he was brought back to duty. He was on reserve at this point, but back to duty, and they brought him undisclosed state. I believe it was a southern state, I'm not sure. And their squad was brought in to a company to back up DEA and FBI agents that were going in and taking out marijuana crops.
Aye.
So they go up there, and they had one smaller kind of a armored type vehicle, and then a Humvee, and the ammunition and the weapons they were given were what do you call it? Ball ammunition. So it's not the kind of ammunition that knockout power. They all kind of had just ball ammunition, some automatic weapons, 45s. Okay.
Standard issue?
Standard issue. They actually said they had the older ones forever because it was happened during the war. The scenario was they're brought up. There's like a 2-acre field, and they said the whole thing happened in about 3 minutes, but it was like slow motion. They look, and there's a male, there's a female with an infant, and 2 younger males. And it looked like that the female was caught in a trap, because another reason why they brought in these soldiers is they were used to taking out booby traps, and whoever the growers had it all booby traps. So the female got caught in the booby trap. The male is there to defend it. So supposedly lots of ammunition, not really affecting it. You know, finally it pounced at the vehicle that this guy is in, and one of his subordinates was in a lower turret or something, he said, and he is a hunter, so he knew to shoot at the pelvic area and like the legs, and he finally dropped it, and then the other soldiers came and dropped, you know, and their heads supposedly too, their craniums are very, very durable, thick, like
yeah,
Cro-Magnon.
that was sustaining bullets.
Yeah, so they had it
Wow.
and shoot it right behind the ear supposedly, and this is graphic, this is horrible, but I'm just, you know, breaking down what I the interview I read or listened to. And so they finally took it out, and then they left. But the soldiers, they talked about the smell, they talked about the ultrasonic, how they felt ill, it affected them, and a couple of them kind of got disorientated. They forgot where they even were. They were in quarantine for a day or two, and so forth. So this is an interesting story from a vet. So it's a military point of view that they tried to take it down. Now I think a lot of people, and then there's other ones where literally the Sasquatch has taken out soldiers. I'm not going to get into it, but do your homework. You know, investigate, Google it. You know, Google soldiers, Bigfoot, vet. You know,
the evidence is there. The accounts are there. Why do they hide the evidence from us? Who will we ever know?
Oh yeah, I think the Bigfoot thing will eventually because nowadays people are just, as far as technology goes, and a big thing is like when we start our in the field research, we're getting a drone.
Yeah, one of those 4K drones.
And when we capture, or you, because I won't be out there, you see the Sasquatch going into the forest, you're gonna drop low and get close, let it hit it.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of this drone footage and different things, and it just won't get down there.
Why is that? Unless the Sasquatch is using its boop, 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 boop to push the drone away.
Not let it down?
Maybe
it's making it... That's the sound they hear, and there's also a whistle thing going on. Like a lot
they sound like a bird.
They have some kind of whistling going. And that vet with the military encounter?
Yeah.
He said that it looked like the 2 younger males were looking at the alpha for instruction, and he was making the clicking sound to them. So that might be that might be how they communicate a little bit.
Maybe it's an ancient language that they still speak. Who knows?
Well, they're ancient, so it's ancient to us.
Right.
Now, you know, if they start talking Chinese to us and telling us what they are actually called in Chinese, then I'd be worried.
And there's so many theories about how the Sasquatch got here. That extraterrestrials brought them. That they were the first humanoid, or they were one of the first humanoid beings on this planet. The Native Americans,
Cherokees talk about a long time ago.
Yeah, and that they were put here as medicine people. And there's accounts of that.
Yeah, that's a strange one to me. I mean, but if it's like that, I mean.
But think about it. They're on the land. They're with the land. Wouldn't they know how to use things on the land if they are indeed this intelligent? Which obviously they are, because they've evaded detection for the most part for so long. Well,
it's interesting. I mean, intelligence, if they would actually work medicine with humans, that I don't get. Like, but maybe somehow they knew that they were using some kind of medicine. Maybe they found, look, they're going to know about herbs.
Right.
Look,
Roots.
if Bigfoot can't go in the morning, I'm sure he knows what berry to find.
And I think on that note,
We can't end on that note.
Why not?
We can't end on that note. Okay, we'll end on that note. If you have any comments, please comment, subscribe, press. What's it called? The little bell.
There's a little bell to get notifications. Be sure to hit the little subscribe button below. Check out our other segments we've got, our other missions we have on our channel. I created a playlist. And you can catch us on our social medias at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all aliens and beyond. And of course, if you have an experience or a story you'd like to share with us, please email us at aliensandbeyond@gmail.com. We have already gotten some submissions in, and they've all been really great.
Yeah, so we have the definition missions, and now we have the submission missions.
Yeah.
That'll all be out this week.
Yes.
What is today's date? Doesn't matter, people.
I have no idea.
Because tomorrow, yesterday, and today are all happening at the same time. And you know how I can prove that?
How?
Because right now it's tomorrow in China. You know that.
I do.
So somewhere it's yesterday. And what is it now? Today.
Today.
I just proved it. Time travel. I'll go in the future. I'll zip the... Yeah. Done. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.